Hi everyone. It's Ariel again with Aliyah Homes. We have a very, very special guest, Rav Ari Enkin. He's from Montreal, Canada. He's an author, and he used to be my halacha rebbe in Yeshiva Migdal HaTorah. So Ari, would you introduce yourselves to everyone?
You did a good job. Again, Ari Enkin, Canadian born, made Aliyah 16 years ago. And as Ariel mentioned, I try to spend my time teaching Torah, especially halacha. That's my area of specialization. Yeah, doing a lot of it online these days, even before Corona, but certainly during Corona, that a lot of my teaching is online.
All right. And I know you published a sefer. What sefer is that?
So I've published 9, 10, 12 Svarim, 9 in one specific series you might be familiar with. It's called the Dalet Amot of Halacha series. Again, there's 9 volumes there. Each volume is 100 different halachic topics, hard-covered books. And they were self-published. Some were self-published. Some were done through Geffen, Urim, Mosaica. Is there another one? And the others were self-published. And you get it together. If you're going through a publisher, it's usually a little bit easier, but it costs a little bit more. You do it yourself. It costs a little bit less. You find your own actual printer for the book. You find your own typesetter, editor, proofreader, graphics, and it comes together. So Baruch Hashem, I've done those, and I have other Svarim I've written as well, besides that series that's well known.
That's awesome. And I guess because we're talking about Aliyah over here, so how come? So you made Aliyah 15 years ago. Why did you make Aliyah? What was so special about Israel? You made Aliyah.
There's 2 reasons primarily I made Aliyah. One is I've always had it in me, Zionism and Torah Zionism, that this is a place we're supposed to live. But also when I was making Aliyah, I forget which war we had, which intifada we had, which uprising. I don't know what kind of, but we had problems over here. And that even more pushed me to go. I was ending a contract on one job and not looking for a new contract yet. And the timing just fell into place. The push, the internal push, the external push, it was the right thing to do at the right time. We had 2 kids. I think we didn't have even grade 1 yet. The oldest was not in grade 1 yet. It was the time to go. Yeah.
Interesting. So it's almost. So did you just say that you because of the Intifadas, it made you want to go more to Israel?
Yes, I forget which turbulence we had in Israel at that time, but yeah, there was something I got to be with my people type of attitude. I can't just sit here on the sidelines. Let me tell you and your viewers something very, very important. And there's one message I can give them, it's this one. And that is, when you live outside the land of Israel, you watch Jewish history unfold. But when you live in the land of Israel, you are a part of Jewish history unfolding. Be a part of it, folks. Don't sit from the cheap seats at the side there in North America or in Europe. Come here to the good seats.
Wow.
That's the most
awesome.
important message. You got to know you're part of the Jewish people when you're here. You're part of the klal when you're here. It's not the same in Chutz La'aretz. I don't care how much money you send to Israel. I don't care how often you check the Jerusalem Post or the Ynet News. If you're not living here, you're missing it.
Wow. And was it easy to, when you did make Aliyah, was it easy to find a job and sustain yourself?
So let's be realistic. Making Aliyah is not easy. We know the famous teaching of our sages that Yisrael, Eretz Yisrael, Nikne b'Yisurim. It's not easy to live here. It's not easy to move here. Immigration anywhere is difficult. Immigration to Israel, well, now it's easier with Nefesh B'Nefesh. I tell you, before Nefesh B'Nefesh, I don't know how people made Aliyah. I guess they made Aliyah with Mesiras Nefesh. You get it? Not Nefesh B'Nefesh.
Right.
They made Aliyah with Mesiras Nefesh. No, Aliyah is not easy. Make no mistake. It's not easy, but it's worth it. You know why all Israelis, Ariel? You know why all Israelis all have 3 jobs? You know why they have 3 jobs, Ariel?
Why?
Because they can't find a 4th. They can't find a 4th job. That's why they're stuck with 3 jobs. You've got to be very creative to make a living over here. There's no doubt about it.
Okay.
One job usually doesn't cut it for a family like it might in America. You got to be willing to work. How do you become a millionaire in Israel? So you come with $1 million. You'll be a millionaire in Israel.
All right. So how many jobs do you have?
I have a lot of jobs. In fact, I have so many jobs that without exaggeration, you and your viewers won't even believe me. And that's not an exaggeration. I'm involved to some extent in maybe 10 different endeavors to try and scrape together a living.
Wow.
Yeah.
But
Uh,
that's not stopping you from living in Israel. That you're still pushing through.
yeah. What would you say? I didn't hear you clearly. I had a breakup on the line.
I said that's not stopping you from living in Israel. I mean, the
No,
reality is it's yeah. Yeah.
no, I'm happy to work. I'm willing to work. I'm not scared to work in order to live in Eretz Yisrael. I think both Rav Kook and Rav Sonnenfeld said something like this: better to be a garbage man in Eretz Yisrael than a Rav in Chutz Laretz.
Huh.
So I'm not embarrassed. I'm not scared to do whatever it takes to live in the Holy Land.
I understand. And where do you live in Israel? You
I
live
live
in
now in Ramat Beit Shemesh, which is one of three, four very Anglo, very American communities. And those who have challenges with the language or want to, make an easier landing should definitely consider these Anglo communities, parts of Jerusalem, Ramat Beit Shemesh, Modi'in, Ranana, a little bit older, but Ranana is an option. Yeah, moving to an Anglo community definitely would make the landing a little bit easier.
Got it. I understand. And recently, you told me a few days ago that you were in Dubai. And in fact, you
Yeah,
went twice to Dubai. One a while back with your Canadian passport, and recently now with an Israeli passport. Can you share us your story?
that's right. I have. I'm very excited. I went to, like you said, in 2019, which was the year of tolerance in the UAE. Very successful, by the way. The year of tolerance, very successful. I believe that was a wink, wink that peace with Israel was coming. By the way, I don't have time to go into that right now. But as people who know the Middle East know the Middle East, yeah, UAE had in 2019 the year of tolerance. There was a lot of education of schools about accepting others, and there was, I believe, it was the foundation to the peace with Israel. But in any event, like you said, I went in 2019 on my own. I love the Middle East. I love the Middle Eastern culture, history, lifestyle. I love it. It's very hard to find an Orthodox rabbi that likes Islamic countries, but I do. I've been to Istanbul many, many times. It's Turkish culture combined with Islamic culture. I love the Middle East, and the UAE was definitely on the list of things to do. And I went, and I had an amazing time. And now I went back with my family last week, as you said, with Israeli passports, Shechianu v'kiyamanu v'giyanu, that we're able to enter UAE with Israeli passports. We had an amazing time. It's a very affordable vacation. I went with my wife, went with my children. The three of us stayed in a five-star hotel for 4 nights, including breakfast, for 800 shekels. So it's very, very affordable. We talk about Dubai. We know Dubai is the biggest, the best, the most expensive, the most outrageous. Yeah, that's all there too. But it doesn't have to be an expensive vacation. And I encourage people, if you want a place to go, that definitely has to be on your list of things to do. There's no place like it whatsoever.
Wow, I kind of want to go now.
Yeah,
And
you
and
should. Yeah.
yeah, and 800 shekels, by the way, for anyone who doesn't know, shekels to dollars, it's like 200 and something dollars. It's nothing.
Yeah, I'm very lucky. I'm very successful in finding deals online for all these types of things. Really,
Okay,
Baruch Hashem, I have that skill.
you're
And
starting
and
another business.
yeah, yeah. And we spoke about it before the interview, before we spoke about together about wearing a kippah in Dubai, wearing a kippah in the UAE. I shouldn't say UAE, I should say Dubai. I don't know what it's like in Sharjah or Abu Dhabi. But in Dubai, wearing a kippah and being Jewish is to your advantage. They really are tolerant and welcoming. And when they see Israelis, they're even more welcoming. These peace deals we've been having is, without exaggeration, in my opinion, the Mos HaMashiach, the dawn of the Messianic era. Keep in mind that in 1973, 76, we had the three no's out of Khartoum, out of Sudan, no peace with Israel, no recognition of Israel, and whatever the third no was, I don't remember now. And now we have even Sudan, Khartoum in line to make peace with Israel. They're in line to make peace with us. First it was UAE, and then it was Bahrain, and then it was Sudan. And we know under the radar we have relations with Saudi Arabia. The world has changed, and we should enjoy it, we should embrace it, and participate in it.
Wow, that's incredible. So when's our next trip to Dubai?
So my wife got even more enchanted with Dubai than I've been. I've been
Well,
there twice already. I don't really need a third time, although it is a place that really is attracting. There is a energy there, a chemistry, a connection. So my wife would want to go back when we could afford it again. Remember, I'm on that rabbi salary. I need 10 jobs to make a living. So when I save up the 800 shekels plus the airplane tickets at about $500 a shot, so yeah, maybe we'll go again.
Wow. So with the flight and the planes, it's like $500 in total.
Each plane ticket was $500.
Okay.
And the as you said, the hotel was $250. Attractions are very reasonable, and you can have these package deals now in Israel. Going to Dubai now in Israel is in the news all day, every day, nonstop since the peace was signed. In fact, it's so much in the news, it's getting like almost like dizzying and maybe even nauseating. Dubai is in every newspaper every day. You can't go half a day without seeing Dubai. So there's a lot of packages. Israelis are going to Dubai now, like Canadians, Montrealers go to the Laurentians for skiing. You know, it's the thing to do now. Really, it really is a thing to do. The packages are off the wall, and it used to be that Turkey was a destination for Israelis, but that moron in Turkey, Erdogan, destroyed his own tourism industry. And at one point, without exaggeration, 25% of Israelis, of all Israelis, had been going to Turkey regularly in the olden days. So those days are gone. Dubai is a new destination for Israelis.
Right now, just two last questions for you. One question is, what message would you give right now to Olim who might be in the same shoes as you were when you made Aliyah? What advice would you give them that you wish you had known of back then?
No, I went into my decision very well read, very well educated. I don't regret anything. And frankly, I did prepare for everything that came my way. I had no surprises. Making Aliyah while the kids are younger is obviously the wise thing to do. It's more recommended. Once kids hit grade 1, 2, 3, it's much more challenging. So if your kids are not yet in grade school, now is the time to go. If your kids are in grades 3, 4, 5, 6, you've got to pause and think and make sure it's for you.
Got it. Makes sense. I mean, they have to, be more, also be practical with their decision making.
Exactly. As much as Aliyah is important, there is a financial reality to Aliyah. There is a family reality to Aliyah. There is a chinuch for your children reality to Aliyah. And it's not one size fits all. It's not for everyone at every time. All Jews are meant to live here at the right time when it's appropriate for you and your family. So if it's appropriate for your family, yes, come, take the jump. You won't regret it. You have my word. If it's not the right time, you gotta juggle the variables, and when things are in place, all the ducks are in line, you should come.
Absolutely. Like, I mean, especially now, like you mentioned, like we have Nefesh B'Nefesh, we have all these organizations. In fact, one of my friends, David Eskenazi, he started the Aliyah Network, where we connect people with vendors in Israel and future Olim in Israel, Olim who already made Aliyah, to connect them with future Olim to help them have a smoother process and help them with all these issues. So it should be easier, but obviously they should be also practical.
I'm available to help also. If anybody wants advice from a working rabbi, Canadian, who made Aliyah 16 years ago, Rabbi Ari at hotmail.com.
Awesome. Yeah, maybe I'll connect you with the Aliyah Network. We'll see what we can do for you over there.
If I could help, anything I can share, it's a pleasure.
Yeah, I'll speak to him. And also, okay, and the last question is, where can we get your svarim? People who are
that is the most important question.
The best for last. The best for last.
So my svarim, thank you very much. My svarim, I want to say again to your viewers, are there's, let's say, 9 volumes in the main series. Each volume contains 100 different halachic questions that is dealt with at some length in easy English, with over 2,000 footnotes per volume. So you have all the sources of everything I write. You can find and go in deeper yourself. And the books are basically only available directly from me. Okay, so it's the Dalet Amot of Halacha series. Each book is about 250 pages, 100 different halachic issues. Each book is independent from the other one. You don't need one before the other. I would say that 2 volumes are already completely sold out. So I guess I could say I have 7 available for purchase. And I ask for $29 per volume, which includes the shipping.
Got it. Do you have a link you could post in the comments where we can?
There's no link. It's just my email address. Give me an email, and you can send me a PayPal to a different email address, and I'll get them out in the mail. It's Rabbi Ari, one word, lowercase, at hotmail.com.
Perfect. Awesome.
thank you very much, Rav Enkin, for
Thank
joining
you for having
us
me.
today. I really do appreciate it. And everyone, thank you very much for watching. Again, this is Ariel with Aliyah Homes.
Make Aliyah, come home.